Hi students, welcome to this session here at Sri Chaitanya Academy. We are going to discuss quite a few questions on SCORE, the syllabus, what kind of questions you can expect. My name is Aniruddha Roy. I am the physics faculty here at Infinity Learn by Sri Chaitanya. And I'll take you along all of the syllabus related things, what chapters are there for your JEE physics. And we'll also do a few questions from each chapter so that you get an idea about what kind of difficulty level there would be, what kind of questions there would be. So let's get started with the session. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you say subscribe to the Sri Chaitanya Academy channel. And let's get started with it. First and foremost, those who are new over here do not know what SCORE is. What is SCORE? SCORE is the Sri Chaitanya online scholarship test that is available. The registrations have started. I'll tell all of those details later. But eventually, what is basically SCORE and what do you get out of the scholarship? Obviously, it's a scholarship test. You have 100% scholarship. There's almost 350 crores worth of scholarship. There's cash prices of around 2.5 crores. Few select students who perform really well will be taken on a NASA trip. Yes, that's NASA in the US. You'll get to go on a trip over there. Just because you're becoming an engineer, you need that inspiration. For that reason, it will be there. You also have lots of giveaways. We'll be giving away lots of gadgets and other things over there. All of this from one single test that you have to give, how many marks it is, when are the registrations. I'll talk all about that. And obviously, the most important thing here is that you will get almost 100% scholarship for the Sri Chaitanya Academy courses, for our online or offline courses. Okay? Few more things about this test before we move into it. The entire process over here, you have to start the registration. You have to fill the form. There's a fees for this test. Again, it's not the full course fees. There's just a test fees. And eventually, you have to give your test. It will be conducted online, offline, all of those options. So the link would be down in the description. You can go there. You can check out more details about what this test is, what it offers. I just give you a quick overview of it. How many questions are there, what syllabus, I'll talk about that a bit more right now. But this is all you get. The entire process is over here. Registration links will be down in the description. Okay, now let's first talk about what is the syllabus. So for your JEE, since this is for your grade 11 students mostly, if you are in grade 11, then your syllabus for SCORE, by the way, SCORE is conducted sometime around September. I'll give you the exact date eventually. The syllabus for the SCORE test for your JEE physics is from the beginning, started from units and measurements, all the way till your system of particles and rotational motion. That is the basis. Gravitation is not there. After that, the following chapters are not there. Syllabus starts from units and measurements, motion in 1D, motion in 2D, laws of motion, work power energy, system of particles and rotational motion. That is over there. Now, we'll do a few questions so that you get an idea about what the difficulty level will be. Obviously, it would be JEE mains level. Now, the questions I've brought here are slightly trickier questions just so that you get prepared that what is the upper limit. Okay, what kind of tricky questions can come in your SCORE exam, and that is the level you have to prepare. Easier questions will also be there so that you can score, but this is the trickier questions that you need to deal with. Okay, so let's get started with the session. Let's start with the first question. It says the deceleration experienced by a moving motorboat after its engine is cut off is given by dv dt is equal to minus kv cube, where k is a constant. If v0 is the magnitude of the velocity at cutoff, then the magnitude of the velocity at a time t after the cutoff is going to be what? So this is a motion in a straight line question because it's just velocity acceleration and it's moving in a straight line. There is a deceleration. dv dt is minus kv cube. They have given that the time you start counting from the moment the engine cuts off. Engine cuts off means it's no longer driving it. There is just this deceleration happening. Maybe because of the viscosity of the water, whatever reasons. So it's decelerating. Starting velocity is v0. You want to find what the velocity is after a time t. How to go about this question? Simple. You want a relation between v and t. Correct? That's already there in the form dv dt. So you have to integrate your way to eventually arrive at the form that you want. So let's do it here. dv dt is minus kv cube. Over here, I can get dv divided by v cube is equal to minus k dt. What does that give me? If I integrate this, dv by v cube is equal to minus k dt, what are the limits of the integration? Here, obviously, you're starting from t equal to 0, going all the way till t equal to small t. But what about velocity? Most students will make a mistake here. They will consider, oh, velocity starts from 0. No, velocity does not start from 0. When time is 0, at that time it is given, like you're starting the counting, you're starting the stopwatch from the moment the engine cuts off. And the velocity at that time is v0, it is not 0. So it goes from v0 all the way till v over here. This is the setup. Right? Now it's a basic integration for you. Over here, if I integrate, integration of dB by v cube will just give me, it's v to the power minus 3, right? So integrating that will just give you v to the power minus 3 plus 1 divided by minus 3 plus 1, x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1. Limits of that are from v0 all the way till v. That is equal to, on the other side, you have a kt minus k times of just t, because it is k dt, integration dt will just give you a t. Limits of that go from 0 to t. Let's plug it in. Get minus half out. If I get minus half out, I will get 1 by v square minus 1 by v0 square, because this is just, there's a minus 2. I just pull the minus half out, and then this is v to the power minus 2. So just over there we have, this is minus kt. Let's take the negatives out. I am looking for v square, right? Cross multiply the two. So 1 by v square is equal to, send the v0 square over there, 2 kt plus 1 by v0 square. This is what I have. So 1 by v square is equal to 2 kt v0 square plus 1 divided by v0 square. So what will that give me? That will give me v is equal to v0 root over of 2 kt v0 square plus 1. That is my answer. You see it exists there as option A. This is how you proceed with this question. Okay, again, if you're watching this live, the chat is open, so make sure you put your doubts in the chat. If you're watching as a recorded, you can put it in the comment section as well. Okay, we'll move to the next question. This one says the water drops fall at regular intervals from a tap 5 meters above the ground. The third drop is leaving the tap at the instant when the first drop touches the ground. How far above the ground is the second drop at that instant? This question is again motion in a straight line because it is for a freely falling body. But the trick here, the concept that you need over here is that if it is falling, what is the interval between each drop falling? That is the core principle over here. So visualize the setup first. There is the tap. Let's say there is the tap. This is the ground. It is given that when the third drop is leaving, it's 5 meters above, okay? Which means any drop has to fall through 5 meters before it hits the ground. It is given that the third drop is leaving the tap when the first drop is touching the ground. So let's say the moment that I literally look at it is the moment where the first drop is hitting here and the third drop is coming out. Which means there would be the second drop which would be somewhere over there. That's what they're asking. Where is how high above the ground is the second drop at that moment? How do we deal with this? Basically, first I try to find how much time it takes for the first drop to land here. I can get it easily. Time taken for a free fall of 5 meters, it's root over of 2h by g. If there's a free fall through a height h, the time taken is root over of 2h by g. H is 5 meters, g is 10. So your t comes out to be 1 second. So since the first drop came out till this point where it is hitting the ground, the time that has passed is 1 second. Now I have been said that the drops are coming out at regular intervals, meaning the time interval between each drop is 0.5 seconds. Why am I saying 0.5? You will think there are 3 drops here. Shouldn't I do 1 second divided by 3? No. Count it. The first drop came out. When it hit, by that time 2 more drops have come out. So in an interval of 1 second, 2 more drops have come out. So each drop came out after an interval of 0.5 seconds. This is important. My delta t then is 0.5 seconds. Why is this important? They have asked how far above the ground is the second drop. If you know the third drop is coming out and each drop comes out after 0.5 seconds, that means you know this drop has been traveling for 0.5 seconds. Because since it came out and the third is coming out, 0.5 seconds have passed. So how much height does this come down by? We'll call it h2. h2 is 1/2 gt square, 10 into the time it has fallen for is half second, half into half. So what do I get? I get a 10 by 8, right? I cancel it out, put a 5 here, 5 by 4, which is 1.25 meters, which means the second drop has fallen by a distance of 1.25 meter. That is not the answer. Why? We have got the distance it has fallen. The question asks how high above the ground it is. So the height above the ground is the 5 meter minus the 1.25 meter, which is 3.75 meter, option C. Please be careful of these little things. You have done all the hard work, you've got the answer. Silly mistakes should not cost you the marks. Okay, let's move to the next one now. Over here it says that a point P moves in a counterclockwise direction. So in this direction on a circular path as shown in the figure. The movement of P is such that it sweeps out a length. This length it is sweeping out at a rate of s is equal to t cube plus 5, t being the time. Radius of the path is 20 meter. The acceleration of the point P when t equal to 2 seconds. Because it is doing a circular motion, you know there will obviously be a centripetal acceleration in this direction. What is the centripetal acceleration? It's always v square by r. We'll get to that. But you can also see that based on this displacement, if I differentiate it, you will also see that the velocity would be changing. Let's just try to find that. What is the speed? Speed is ds dt. If I differentiate that, I get 3t square. If I get to an acceleration, what will I get here? I will get 60. This is important. Why? Because this is the tangential acceleration. You see the speed is changing with time, which means there is also an acceleration in this direction. That is the tangential acceleration. The tangential acceleration you get by dv dt. Centripetal is always v square by r. Tangential is always dv dt. Right? So we have the tangential. Centripetal, I'll put it here, is v square by r. V, what did we get? We get 3t square. That would be 9t to the power 4 divided by r. And the tangential is 60. Okay, very good. We want it at t is equal to 2 seconds. I can even put it here, 9t square divided by 20. Radius is given as 20 meter. Right? At t equal to 2, centripetal acceleration is 9t square by 20, 9 into 2 into 2 divided by 20. What do I have? I have a 10 here. So 18 by 10 is 1.8. And the tangential acceleration, put t equal to 2, you have 6 into 2, that is 12 meters per second. That is what I have. Now they are asking for the net acceleration. That is just the resultant of these two. Resultant of these two. So A is equal to AC square plus AT square. which is root over of 1.8 square plus 12 square, right? What do we get as a result? I believe we'll get somewhere, did I make a calculation mistake somewhere, students? 3t square, yes, that's v square divided by r, that's a 9t to the power 4. Oh, sorry, this is a t to the power 4. My mistake, students. I missed out. There are 2 more 2's over here. There are 2 more 2's over here. I missed that out. That's why I'm feeling answer was not matching. So over here, it's 8 into 9. 8 into 9 is 72. 72 by this is 7.2. 7.2 meters per second square. My mistake. Let's put 7.2 here. Now, how much is 7.2 square? I can approximate. 7 square is 49. So, I can approximate that 7.2 square is somewhere around 50. Again, you don't have to have the exact values. Approximation would work. This is somewhere around 50. This is somewhere around 140. Not somewhere around. This is exactly 144. 50 plus 144 is root 194. I know that at root 196, I have 14. So, this is almost equal to 14. The answer is option D. Okay? Let's move to the next one. This one says that a projectile is fired at an angle of 45 degrees with the horizontal. The elevation angle of the projectile at its highest point as seen from the point of projection is how much? So what have we been asked for over here? Let this be a setup. You launch a particle at a speed u at an angle theta. It follows that projectile path. This is the highest point. They are asking that from the point where you are launching it, if I were to draw a straight line and let this angle be alpha, alpha and theta are not the same. What is that alpha? What is that elevation angle of the highest point? How do you go about it? Pretty straightforward. This is the maximum height. We have a formula for maximum height. This is half of the range. So this I'll write HM. Whereas this length is r by 2. And you see, this creates a triangle where tan of alpha is HM by r by 2. That is all we are going for. As simple. Many of these questions, especially in SCORE, you will see many of these questions, if you can draw out the diagram, especially in physics, because the entire SCORE syllabus is mechanics. So always try to visualize the diagram, get to the diagram. If you got to the diagram, solution becomes simple. So over here, what do I have? Tan of alpha is the maximum height divided by half of the range. What is the maximum height? Maximum height, I'm assuming it's 45. We'll put it in later. U square sine square theta divided by 2g. And there's a 2 on top because it's r by 2. And the range formula is u square 2 sine theta cos theta divided by g, because it's u square sine 2 theta by g. This is what I have. Let's take the g out. Let's take one of the 2's out. Take the u square out. One of the sine thetas out. So my tan alpha is equal to, what do I have here? I have 1 2 remaining. I have 1 sine theta by cos theta remaining. That is 1/2 tan of theta. What is tan of theta? Theta was 45 degree, right? Theta was 45 degrees, so I can put tan alpha is half tan of 45. Tan 45 is equal to 1. So alpha is equal to tan inverse of half. It is option B. All right. Let's move on to the next one now. Over here, it is given there is a mass m and it is supported by a massless string wound around a uniform hollow cylinder of mass small m and radius capital R. If the string does not slip on the cylinder, with what acceleration will the mass release? So this combines a little bit of Newton's laws of motion with rotational motion as well. Over here you will get two equations, one for the linear motion of this, the other for the rotational motion of this. And we can solve each one similar to a free body diagram. How do we do this? This mass, as it is coming down, let's draw the free body diagram of this mass. That feels the mg down, it feels a tension up, and you can understand its net acceleration is downward. So what can I write at its equation? mg minus t is equal to ma. Let that be there. Next we look at this cylinder. On this cylinder, along the edge that tension is pulling, it has a radius of capital R, mass of small m. So this tension is basically rotating it. It's giving the torque. What is the torque? The torque is T into R, force into perpendicular distance from the axis, which is R. That is equal to moment of inertia into alpha. So what do I have? T into R is equal to moment of inertia. This is a solid cylinder. Oh, it's a hollow cylinder. Hollow cylinder just means it is mr square. And the alpha, you see the angular acceleration would be related to the linear acceleration of the edge by alpha is equal to a by r. And the linear acceleration of that edge, of literally the edge of that cylinder, will be same as the acceleration of this, because how much the edge turns, this also comes down by the same amount. Right? That is why I could put that alpha is equal to a by r, where a is literally this acceleration. On the basis of this, take the r's out. This cancels, complete r gone. So t is equal to ma. We are looking for that acceleration. We have t equal to ma from here. Take that, plug it back in here. What do I get? mg minus t replaced with ma is equal to ma. So mg is equal to 2 ma. If you send it over to the other side, take the m's out. I have a is equal to. For that lecture, please refer to the, put your doubts in the comment section. Okay, let's go for the next one. It's given there's a block of mass m, small m. It's resting on a smooth horizontal surface, so no friction. One end of a uniform rope of mass m by 3 is fixed to the block, which is pulled in the horizontal direction by applying a force F at the other end. The tension in the middle of the rope, my mistake, in the middle of the rope is how much? Again, key is to visualize and draw out the diagram. What have they said? Let's say there's a smooth horizontal surface. Block of mass m is resting on it. Block of mass m. There is a rope of mass m by 3. The rope is not massless, it has a m by 3. It is being pulled with the force F at the other end. I am applying the force F here. They are asking what is the value of tension in the middle of the rope. At this point, what is the value of tension? Whenever they give you a question where you want to find tension at a middle point or at some position on a rope which has mass, the way you deal with it is that you consider this part as a separate mass, this part as a separate mass, and assume that there is a string in between. You want to find the tension in that string. That is how you deal, even though there is no actual string. But that way allows you to better understand, put down the values over there. Okay? So I'll show you how to draw the simplified diagram of this. Simplified diagram is you have the mass m here. You consider that this is m by 6. There's a string in between, and this is m by 6. Meaning this m by 3, the total mass of the string I broke because I'm breaking it, I found it at the midpoint. So there would be equal mass on both sides, half of m by 3, half of m by 3. And in between the point, I want the tension over here. I apply a force F here. First and foremost, I can get what the acceleration of the entire setup is. Acceleration is just the force divided by the total mass, which is m plus m by 3. Which, if you do 4m by 3, you'll get 3f by 4m. We'll keep that. Now let's look at the free body diagram of this, because here we have the tensions. We have the tensions acting. So what is the free body diagram of that? If I take that m by 6 mass, force F pulling here, tension T pulling here, having an acceleration A in this direction. What do I get? I get F minus T is equal to m by 6 into A. Tension, we have the A, we are looking for that tension. So T is equal to F minus m by 6 into the acceleration I can replace with 3f by 4m. Goes with the 2. This m cancels out. What do I have? T is equal to F minus, this is F by 2 into 4, 8. So T is equal to 7F by 8. That is the tension. Hello, Sheikh Zarina. Okay, okay. These are still very valuable for you, Sheikh Zarina, even if you're in the last year. Oh, Sheikh Samira. Okay, okay. Your YouTube name is Sheikh Zarina. But chalo, Sheikh Samira. Anyway, but these questions we are doing for SCORE, but these are also important for your JEE. And that's why for everyone I'll tell you to attempt the SCORE, because at the end of the day it's a mock test with the real environment surrounding, real exam environment around you. Okay, let's move for the next one. It says a particle describes a horizontal circle in a conical funnel whose inner surface is smooth with a speed of 0.5 meters per second. What is the height of the plane of the circle from the vertex of the funnel? Again, all about visualizing, drawing the diagram. Let's draw out the cone. This is the cone, and the particle is moving with a speed of 0.5 meters per second. So the particle is tracing out a circle like this, moving at a speed of 0.5 meters per second. Right? Over here, they are asking what is the height. Let's assume that the angle is theta over here. Let's assume that the angle is theta. Where it is tracing out a circle, it has a radius of r. I'm assuming radius is r, the height is h. First and foremost thing, I see that over here, there will be a normal reaction force. In which direction? In this direction, always perpendicular to the surface. There would be the normal reaction force. On that particle, what other forces would be there? There would be the mg acting down. And you can see that the normal reaction force will have two components. In this direction, there will be the n sine of theta. Whereas in this direction, there will be the n cos of theta. This angle will be theta. You can prove it. Right? Physics is your problem. Why are you scared of physics? Physics is very logical. The only reason people struggle with physics is they try to treat it like chemistry. They try to treat it like they studied physics in 9-10. 9-10 physics is different. If you start thinking of physics like your 9-10 maths, then you will do physics properly. It's more about logic now, not about knowing stuff. Okay? Hi Varshit, your first year. Okay, then you should give the SCORE test. Chalo. So over here you see it is in balance. So this n sine theta will be balancing out the mg. So n sine theta is balancing out the mg. And what does the n cos theta do? That is literally providing me the centripetal force needed for that circular motion. So n cos theta is equal to mv square divided by r. If I were to divide both of these equations, what will I get? I'll cancel out the n's, I'll cancel out the m's, and I will get tan theta is equal to rg divided by v square. We are still not done. They have asked us for the maximum height. If you look closely at this triangle, you see if this is theta, tan of theta is the opposite, which is the r, and the base is the h. So tan theta can be written as r by h, that is rg by v square. R cancels, so your h is equal to v square divided by g. What is v? Speed was given to you as 0.5 meters per second, so 0.5 divided by g value is 10. So 0.25 divided by 10, which is 0.025 meters, which is 2.5 centimeter, option D. So your first dropper for NEET, okay? No issues, Samira. NEET, it's okay. If you took one drop in NEET, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Just stay focused on your physics part, because this year I know physics became really big deal in NEET. But for physics, try to also do a little bit of JEE stuff. Again, don't have to go for advanced, even though I know there was one question for almost advanced level. You should not put that much time into the physics for advanced, but mains level you should be able to do. Hi Varshit. Chalo, let's see this. A rubber band is stretched by a distance x. It exerts a restoring force of magnitude F is equal to ax plus bx square, where a and b are constants. What is the work done in stretching the unstretched rubber band by a length L? Simple. You have the force. Work done is F dot dx. That's it. It is just F dot dx. It's that simple. Most students will get confused because they know that a rubber band should be F equal to kx. No, it's a hypothetical setup. It's not always going to be half kx square there. If the force was just kx, then work done would have been half kx square. But here the force is given as a different relation, so you have to find the work done. Work done, W is integration F dot dx, which is integration of ax plus bx squared dx. Limits going from 0 to L. What will I get? I will get AL square by 2 plus BL cube divided by 3. Literally, I'll get AX square by 2 plus BX cube by 3. X replaced from 0 to L. 0, I don't really care. I put X value L here. So it's that simple. It's that simple. So remember, what questions I'm doing here for your score, these are like the moderate to trickier questions. You'll also have easier questions. You'll also have easier question in your score. Okay? A sample paper of score is also provided in the link over there, so you can go and check that out. That way you'll have even more idea about what is the difficulty level. Obviously, we are covering some here, but you'll have a better idea there as well. Okay, let's try this one. It says there's a particle of mass m, and it is driven by a machine that delivers a constant power of k watts. If the particle starts from rest, and the force on the particle at a time t is how much? The force is changing. Obviously, it's constantly changing because it has to have a constant power. Now, power is force into velocity. If you continue to apply a force, the velocity is changing. But to maintain a constant power, the force has to adjust for it. What is L? L is literally given how much you have stretched it. The work done in stretching the rubber band by a distance L. So it was unstretched, you stretched by a length L. Got it, Varshit? That is how much you have elongated, how much you have stretched. Normally it would be just half kx square, half kl square. But since the force equation itself is not just kx, it's kx plus bx square, so we had to go by the full integration method. So over here, how do I deal with this? I know that the power is a constant value, it's given as k. And power is force into velocity. How do I get to what is the force? You'll say I'll just put k by v, but you don't know what v is. V is obviously varying with time. And you see all the formulas here, all the options here include time. So I need some way by which I can introduce time into this equation. How can I bring in time? I can put force is equal to m dv dt into v, that is k. I can put it like that. I keep the v on this side. So I'll have v dv is equal to k by m dt. This is what I got. Integrate on both sides. Integrate on both sides. It starts from 0, right? It starts from 0 because it's given. Particle starts from rest, goes up to a speed v, let's say. And time is 0, goes up to a time t. So I'm trying to get to a relation. How does the speed vary with time? What do I get here? I get a v square by 2 is equal to k by m into t. I'm directly putting the limits because the lower limit for both of them is 0. So I don't have to do this minus that. From here, I get v is equal to root over of 2k by m into t. This is my v, right? Since I want the force, F into v was equal to k, I now know what v is as a function of time. So I can literally take that and get it because I know F into v was equal to k. So F, which is what we are looking for, is just k by v. We got the value of v. Let's plug it in. K divided by root over of 2kt into root m. Take this out, put a root k here. So root over of mk by 2t. Root over of mk by 2t, it is this one, option D. Got it? mk by 2t, the t is already in my root over, they have just put it outside t to the power minus half, which is just 1 by root t. Exactly what you expect, it's just written in a different form. I found it is given pressure is a constant value k. I wrote pressure as force into velocity. And the force I write as m dv dt, m into acceleration, mass into acceleration, acceleration is dv dt. So I have v dv and this dt I cross multiply, the m I send down. So k by m dt, integrated it, integration of v dv is v square by 2, k by m is a constant, so integration dt is just t. So I have v square by 2 is k by m into t. From there I got v. Now I knew F into v was equal to k. I'm looking for the force, right? F into v was k. V I got. I just put k divided by that v. Put the values in. I got to the answer. McKenna, is that clear? All right. We'll move to the next one. This says a solid sphere is rolling on a surface as shown in the figure with a translational velocity of v meters per second. If it is to climb the inclined surface and it continues to roll without slipping, then what is the minimum velocity for this to happen? So over here, the ball is rolling. It is rolling but has a translational speed of v meters per second. And it climbs to a height h. Now remember, here it is moving horizontally plus rotating. That is what rolling is. When it climbs up and stops, that's the maximum height it goes, it is neither moving, it neither has a horizontal velocity, nor does it have a rotational velocity. Which means whatever kinetic energy was here, the total kinetic energy that included the translational and rotational, the total kinetic energy here is completely converted to potential energy at this point. It is completely converted. So what is the total kinetic energy here? It's not just half mv square. We know the rotational kinetic energy is 1/2 mv square 1 plus I by mr square. This is the formula. This is the formula for the rotational kinetic energy, which includes, this is the translational plus that into this is the rotational part of it. Okay, so it is a solid sphere. In solid sphere, I is equal to 2 by 5 mr square. If I replace it with here, the rotational kinetic energy is 1/2 mv square 1 plus 2 by 5 mr square will just give you a 2 by 5. That will give me 1/2 mv square into 7 by 5, which is 7 by 10 mv square. This is the rotational energy. This entire rotational energy is converted into the potential energy. Because when it reaches the highest point, its rotation has also stopped, translation has also stopped. Meaning, you just want to go for that this rotational kinetic energy is equal to mgh, that is 7 by 10 mv square is equal to mgh. Take the m's out. So we are looking for the h, right? Oh, we are looking for the v. V then is equal to 10 by 7 into gh. Root over of 10 by 7 gh, it is option D. Okay? So I think that was the last question for the day. We'll maybe have more sessions. If you want more sessions like this before your SCORE test, do comment in the comment section here, not just in the live chat. After the video goes live, put it in the comment section as well. Then we'll bring more such sessions for you. Meanwhile, you can obviously go, you can register for the SCORE test, all the scholarship details, everything. The link is there in the description. And this video, make sure you like this video. Comment what more sessions, which chapter specifically you want. You can comment that down below. Stay subscribed to the Infinity Learn JEE channel and share about the SCORE test. Share about the SCORE test so among your friends that we are giving it the scholarships. Full Sri Chaitanya course you'll be able to get at almost zero money to you. There's a 100% scholarship involved. Okay? And the exam dates are 28th September and 12th October. You can register now. This link is there. It's also there in the description box. You can go there and check that out. So 28th September and 12th October, there are 2 dates for the SCORE test. And we will obviously be helping you over there as well as you move ahead. Okay? So that's it. What is SCORE? I have already described about it. It's the scholarship test conducted by Sri Chaitanya. It goes all the way from 3 to 12, grade 3 to grade 12 for all courses, right? For JEE NEET also it is there. It's a national level scholarship exam. So again, link is in the description. Please go there. Please make use of this test over here. Okay? So we'll keep it till here. And I'll see you all again then in the next session whenever we have it again. Comment down below for that, which chapter in specific you want. We will do it over there. All right. So the test is both online and offline, both options you have. And the test dates and everything, test date 1, last date to register is on 26th September. All of these things you have. But don't wait till the last date because it's like JEE Mains registrations. Towards the end, servers get cramped and everything. So make sure you register today itself. Go there and register. And as you can see, the registration is free at srichaitanyascore.com. So make sure you go and register over there. All right. Sure. And the test, since you are for JEE on NEET, you'll have 120 minutes of exam. Right? There will be 20 questions in physics, chemistry and maths each. Not 25, because if 25 that would be 180 minutes. It's 20 questions, 120 minutes for you. Okay? So we'll keep it till here then, students. Make sure you stay subscribed to the Sri Chaitanya channel. Make sure you comment down below what chapter you need and definitely like this video before you end it. Okay? Thank you so much. I'll see you all again then in the next session. Bye bye. Have a good day. Have a good night, everyone.